What's up, unicorns? Welcome back to the music room. Today we are going to do a change your strings tutorial. I have my Lanikai Soprano ukulele. It is model LU-11 and it is about 7 years old. We are going to be changing the strings of this instrument today. I'm going to show you a very, very easy way of doing it. You're going to need a couple of different supplies. 1, some scissors. 2, your ukulele. 3, some Ernie ball strings. This is by far the easiest method for changing the strings of your instrument because they have a ball at the end. So if you've ever hesitated or taken your instrument to a music store because you were presented with this magic and you're like, no thank you. Trust me, this is actually not as terrifying as it might seem. I'll do another video on how to change strings to match this later on. The first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to twist the pegs so that you loosen the string along the neck. That means that the pegs that are on the left side of the instrument are going to be twisted towards you. And the strings that are on the right side of the instrument are going to be twisted away from you. The reason why we do this is so that when you use the scissors to cut the strings, they don't snap back into your face. Safety first, kids. It feels like everybody is good. The A string could go a little bit more. All right, everybody's in a really good place, so I'm going to start cutting my strings off. G string. Now, before you start panicking, you're fine. Take a deep breath. So we're going to get down here to the end and we're just going to pick at the strings. You're going to unwind them and then you're just going to pull them out. If you have babies in your home or you have small animals that like to play with the things that are on the carpet that they should not play with, please be very, very careful with these string remnants, because I know my cat would absolutely love to play with these and they would be very, very bad for her. So keep track of your string pieces, put them off to the side, and make sure that when you come back to throw everything away that you've got 8 pieces. And next we're going to open our Ernie ball strings. You're going to get them in these packets. You're going to have an installation guide. And guys, look, it even shows you how to make the knots if you need to. So what we're looking at for our particular instrument, or my particular instrument, is a tie end bridge. We're inserting strings through the bridge as shown. Let's talk about this. 28 refers to the inch length. So the 28-inch string is going to be good for either the A string, which is the first, or the G string, which is the fourth. The 32-inch string is going to be good for the second string, which is your E string. The 40-inch string is the third string, which is your C string. And then here we are again with a 28, and that's again for your G or your A. Don't get your strings mixed up, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with my A string, then I'm going to do my E, then I'll do my C, and then I'm going to do my G string. So we're going to start with the A string. I like these strings too because they're black, and I thought that choosing a black string would be really fun for this particular instrument. Also, very important detail here, recyclable. Okay, so this is how the string looks when it comes out. It has a little ball on the end of it, and that ball is there for our convenience. So we're going to make sure that the string is not kinked or wound. We're going to take it at the end that does not have the ball, and we are going to thread it through, there it is, the first hole. So as I thread it through the first hole, and I'm just going to pull it through all the way. And there it is. You guys, it is that easy. So I'm going to pull it all the way up and all the way through. And the A string, don't forget, is going to be with this one, this first peg that you see here. So in each of the pegs is a hole. I don't know if you can see that or not. Yep, is a hole. This is where you're going to stick your string through. Now, make sure that it's in the designated spot. No, wrong one. There we go. It keeps wanting to go into the E. There we go. Okay, so now it's in the designated spot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull it a little tight, and then I'm going to do my own winding here. So I am going to go underneath what I just did. Okay, so just to show you again, I'm going underneath. I'm going to go underneath here like this, and then I am going to hold the string here along the neck for a minute, and then what I'm going to do is I am going to twist the peg towards me. And what that's going to do is it's going to start tightening this up. Now the reason why we went underneath is so that as it twists, it's going to create a very neat, well eventually, it's going to create a very, very neat twist so that none of the strings are overlapping, because you do not want to have strings overlapping each other you don't want to have the strings overlapping each other up here, because then you're going to put unnecessary pressure on them. So now take a look. Hopefully you can see this. I have 2 coils, and that's what you want. You want to have 2 really distinct and neat coils. Okay, so we're getting our string there. I'm not gonna get it all the way to where it needs to be, because that's not really essential right now. So now I'm gonna move on to my next string. Okay, and then again, we're making sure that it fits in the correct groove. That's my E string groove. And again, I'm gonna put it through the hole up here. Be gentle with it, because you don't want to get it confused with your A string. In fact, I'm going to put my A string, excess A string, over here behind the neck. That way it doesn't get caught or confused. Okay, so here we go again, pulling it a little tight, taking it, and then I am going to put it right underneath. I'm not threading it through any hole, I'm just laying it underneath this original loop. Okay. So it's pulled around, and now I am going to hold it in place on the side, and then I'm going to start twisting towards me. I can feel the tension of the string starting, and it's tight enough now that I can let go of that string and the A string. Now the A string's buzzing a minute, but that's because of this excess here. Move on. So our next string is the 40-inch, and that is the 3rd string, so that's going to be the thickest by far. Take a look at that. Woo! That's our C string. So same process as before, guys. C string, and we're now on the left side of the instrument, that you're not going to this one first, you're going to this one. Sometimes I find that the hole is not in the right place, so I'm going to twist the peg and get the hole in a place that is more convenient. There we go. Alright. It's up, it's in, and I am going to wrap it. Going the opposite direction than I was on the other side. Okay, and then I'm going to pull it around, keeping the tension here tight. And then holding it along the neck. I am pleased with. Ah, nice. Wrong pitch. Okay, and we're ready for our very last string. You're almost done. Okay, so we're back to the 28 inch and we're going to put in our 4th string, which is the G string. Up and it's in, and now I'm going to go again on that side. So left strings are going to loop to the left, right strings are going to loop to the right. Okay, you've got strings. Terribly out of tune strings, but you've got strings. Now, take my G string, I am going to hold it out, and I am going to put my thumb down in the 6th fret. Okay. I am measuring out where that 5th fret is and kind of holding my finger up and away from the instrument. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it by the 5th fret. Don't worry, I'm not cutting the strings that are already strung. I'm cutting the excess off. This way, the excess is off. I am able to continue tuning, and I don't have to worry about that string kind of getting in the way of everybody else. I'm going to do that for all the rest of them. Done. Okay, so just to recap, remember, if you use the Ernie ball strings, you've got, hang on, where's the other one? 4 black strings, and then you should have 8 left over of the strings from the old strings. Okay, so you've got 8 of these pieces, you've got 4 of these pieces. Please make sure you've counted them all up and have them accounted for, and throw them away. We do not want the itty-bitty human babies or the itty-bitty fur babies into their mind that these are a fun thing to play with. Okay, so I'm going to wrap them in the old wrapper and throw them away. If you've ever bought a brand new ukulele, online and it was not tuned for you, then you've already been through this process. So you know it takes a long time for an instrument to not only get into tune, but to then stay in tune. So don't get discouraged, don't get frustrated, and don't think that you did something wrong. You really didn't. The strings are just extremely fussy. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to tune the instrument. I'm going to hold the excess of the string out away from it so that it doesn't buzz. Got there quick, which is great. See, I went a little too far with earlier, so I'm going to come back. Okay. And now I'm going to go onto my E string. Not bad. And finally my A string. Got a lot of work on A. Thanks for tuning in for how to change strings on a ukulele. I hope you have success. I know that everybody else has a different way of doing it, maybe even a better way of doing it, but this is the way that works for me. So have a wonderful day, and I will talk to you later. Bye, unicorns!